is Mary and welcome to my Oasis Life. So this morning I have several plants that I need to water, so it's a bit of a plant care morning, and at the same time I want to take a little bit of time to talk to you all about a topic that's been on my mind lately, and to be honest, a topic that has been on my mind ever since I started my plant journey, which is trending plants. So I guess it's a mystery to me why certain plants trend and some don't, and why we tend to clamor for the same kind of plant all at the same time. So is it just like a herd mentality? Is it just, because of social media? Or is it like a company that promotes a certain plant to be sold in the houseplant market? So it's kind of just like a bit of a mystery to me, and also just kind of what's the impact it has on me as a plant beginner, and maybe reflecting on how it impacts the plant community in general as well, because there are good things and bad things about trending plants, and I'm not going to be the person to say that I'm immune to trending plants. Of course I'm not. I have gotten certain plants because I've saw them on Instagram. I started my plant journey seeking trendy plants or Instagram plants. I'm not like trying to be high and mighty and say, oh, I'm above it all, but it's just like a mystery to me why certain plants do trend and why others not, and it's just the impact it has on the plant community online. So yeah, but before we get in too deep on that topic, let's go water some of my plants first. So let me get the plants that need watering today. I am getting my Hoya carrii. Let's me check if it actually does need water. Yeah, it could use watering today. So let me put that right here. And then the Manjula pothos also needs watering. So let me put that down here as well. This has been trailing really long. Look at that. The maiden hair fern I actually watered yesterday, so I'm not going to water it today. Oops, a leaf fallen off my crimson queen, so I have to get rid of that. The pink sigonium I don't need to water today, but it looks like it needs watering soon. I'm gonna get my heartleaf philodendron. This needs watering too. This has grown so much and it's still growing. This lavender plant needs watering as well. If you saw my Instagram story on this, I tried to do a Christmas DIY with this lavender plant. First I tried to shape it into a tree. I don't know if it looks like a tree. And I put some Christmas lights on it. And then I put a ribbon in it to make it Christmassy. My sister said it looks so tacky. So I don't know. I think it was cute. But admittedly, it's not as a big of a success as a DIY project as I thought it would be. But yeah, I mean, it was an attempt. And I'm keeping it this way, even if it looks tacky. So here are the plants that I need to water for today. I think the lavender and the Manjula, I'll try bottom watering them, but I might just take them to the bathtub and water them there. But for these small plants, I'm going to put them in this tray and bottom water them. And yeah, so I've got the Hoya carrii, the golden pothos, and this heartleaf philodendron. And I got my water over here. And I'm just going to put some water on the tray and let them take their time as they sip the water. Let's see if I can squeeze in the Manjula pothos in this. Probably can. And so for bigger plants like this, what I do is I top water. And then I'll still keep it on the tray so that it would also bottom water. So I don't put a lot of water when I water it from the top. And yeah. And just let it be like that. So I'm just probably going to keep them there for a few minutes. And then let me just mist them as well. And yeah, I think the lavender I'm just going to put in the bathtub to water since I'm not going to be able to fit it here. Okay, so let's talk about trending plants. I apologize in advance if I start to ramble or go off on a tangent. I'm actually refilming this. I tried to film this while I'm cleaning my room, but then the lightning sucked, so I'm trying to refilm and, you know, remember everything that I've said in that footage so that I could repeat it here, so please bear with me. So I've been thinking about it a lot recently, but it's been on my mind since I started my plant journey, is why and how certain plants trend and what makes a plant the cool plant of the moment. And it's just mind-boggling to me, and I haven't really found the answer up till now. It's just like, is it just herd mentality? Is it just because being on social media? It's really more about that and not really about the houseplant community. But with me, if I'm being honest, my gateway to the plant community was Instagram plants. I first saw a fiddler fig on Instagram, and that became my first plant, and my plant journey just continue on from there. So I'm not knocking trending plants. This is not like to shame people who likes trending plants. I've changed trending plants myself in the beginning of my plant journey and maybe even up until now. And there are some pros to trending plants, but there are also cons, I think. I'm not knocking the influence and the effect plant YouTube has on the general plant community online and offline, but at the same time, I don't think it's the plant YouTubers with massive followings who dictate or influence what is the cool plant of the moment. If anything, they're just responding to the trends we all see, and I don't know if it's also the plant companies online that sends them plants for their plant unboxings that are dictating or the driving force behind which is the cool plant of the moment, because as far as I've seen with this plant unboxing, they still get to choose which plants to order from the company. And for the most part, they talk about the experience of ordering from that company instead of the plants. And it's also not like all of these plant YouTubers that are getting plant mails from certain companies are featuring the same kind of plants. So I don't think that's also what's dictating the cool plant or the trending plant of the moment. But at the same time, there are certain weeks where like everyone is coming out with a plant video and they're talking about the same plant, and like, how does that happen? It's not like all of these plant YouTubers know each other. They don't. So like, what is the driving force behind this trending plants? Is it just like, you know, a company that is putting out a house plant in the market and it becomes available and it's what everybody clamors for at the same time, and we feature it on social media, and that's what makes it trend? But then it's not always the case, because a lot of the trending plants are not plants that are readily available for everyone. So how do they start a trend? Is it like somebody who posted on their Instagram or put it on their plant YouTube and they get a lot of likes and they get a lot of feedback, and that's how the plant they featured on their Instagram or on their YouTube become a trending plant? I don't know. But again, I'm not knocking people who wants to share the plants that they found, the plants that they're excited about purchasing and all that, because that's what part of being a plant community is sharing our love for our plants. And like I've said in a previous video, in my plant updates video, if you have a plant that you're really proud of, go ahead, show it off, brag about it. You should be happy about the plant that you have, that you're taking care of. You know, plants make people happy. If it brings you joy, then share the joy with everyone. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So go ahead, if you have a plant that you're really proud of or you're excited that you have found, then, you know, go ahead and show it off. And regardless if you paid zero money for it or you paid a lot of money for it, then, you know, it's your right, it's your privilege to show off your plant on your own platform. So I'm not knocking people who wants to show off their trending plants, not at all. But at the same time, there's also this effect, a general social media effect, and it's not just particular to the plant community, where you post something online, especially if it's a rare plant or it's a trending plant, and there are people that might feel bad when they see that photo because they can't have that plant because it's either too expensive or not available in their area. But then at the same time, I don't think it's that person's responsibility, the person who posted a picture or made a video about their rare plant or their trending plant, I don't think it's their responsibility that some people might feel bad from seeing their YouTube video or seeing their Instagram photo. I don't think that's your responsibility, but at the same time, we can't also ignore that it is an effect on social media, that certain people might feel bad when they see a photo of something that they can't have. But again, is that your fault? I don't think so. But yeah, so it's kind of like a catch-22. And one bad thing that I do see about trending plants is not how it makes people feel or not feel when they see them online. It's the prices. Because more often than not, the plants that trend are not readily available plants. So the demand becomes high and the supply is not there yet. So until the supply meets the demand, if it will ever meet the demand, the prices are ridiculously high. And I've seen a video from Nick Pelagi where he talks about being a buyer at Urban Jungle in Philadelphia. And as a buyer, he chooses the plants that the shop sells, but he also dictates the prices on them. He doesn't mark up a plant ridiculously high just because it's a trending plant. Like with the Referendor Tetrasperma, he was selling it at Urban Jungle for I think about $16, where in other places you'll get it for like 30, 40, 60, or even over hundreds of dollars for like a 4-inch, 6-inch plant. And that's crazy. And what I learned from his video is that if we only know the wholesale price of these plants, even if they're trending, the price other people charge for them online is ridiculously and stupidly high. I don't know if any of you are watching the Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star series about the beauty community. The whole entire series is basically just a docu-series promoting the Conspiracy palette. But there's one interesting thing that I learned in that docu-series is like the makeup that we buy in Sephora and Ulta from the big brands like Urban Decay, Too Faced, Anastasia, and all of that. The palettes probably only cost like $3 to $6 to make, yet they sell it to us for like $48, $50, $70, $80. So there's like a 700% markup on stuff that they only made for $3 to $6, which is kind of crazy. And I feel like that's the same thing that's kind of happening with houseplants that are trending. They probably don't cost that much wholesale, but they're marked up 700% just because they're trending. And which is unfortunate, because I've also seen some videos from longtime plant collectors when they say that, oh, I got this plant like 3 or 4 years ago and it only cost me this much to pay for it, but now it costs like hundreds of dollars to get this plant, which is crazy. So I also don't know if like the supply is also being manipulated in a way. I know plants take certain time to grow, but I don't know if it's also being manipulated in a certain way. So it's kind of like with Supreme products. Like if you're not familiar with the brand Supreme, they release this product in a limited way. It's always kind of like limited edition. That's why it drives the prices up, especially in the black market. And I don't know if that's what's happening with the houseplant as well that are trending, that, you know, their prices are being driven up because of an artificial manipulation of supply, where we could probably have more of the plants, but we don't, just to drive up that demand and drive up the prices for a certain plant. But then at the same time, trending plants also make a lot of plants that are uncommon more common. They make them more readily available because growers see, oh, there's a demand for this plant, let us make more of that type of plant. But then going back to, until that supply catches up with the demand, the prices become so ridiculously high, especially in the aftermarket. I personally don't think that's right. I think that's taking advantage of houseplant lovers and their desire to nurture for this plant. But then at the same time, there's a reason why certain plants are very valuable and why certain plants have their price tags, because they are rare. But then it also kind of like provides a certain elitism in a way, that only people who can afford the plants can have it. So I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts about the supply and demand of trending plants. Just for me personally, like I said, I've chased after trending plants, especially in the beginning of my plant journey.
But now 6 months in, I'm just like reflecting, did I really want those plants because I like them, or just because they were trendy plants? And for a couple of them, I feel like I only got them because they're trending and not because I want them or they're right for me. Like with the Pilea peperomioides, I never really wanted one, but I saw one at Home Depot. It's only for $9, and I got it because everyone was having a Pilea peperomioides, everyone was talking about it. So let me get it, and so I could show on Instagram or on YouTube that I have one, and I only got one for $9. But ever since I got the plant, I haven't really had the best relationship with it. It had problems with lighting, with leaves curling, with its watering. But then at the same time, now that I look at the plant, I feel like I have just been exaggerating my issues with the plant, because I don't think I had problems with it any more than I had with other plants. I think I just exaggerated my issues with the plants because I'm not really into it. I mean, I still have the plant. It's currently downstairs, but the reason it's not up here in my room is because I'm not really into it, which is like a terrible thing to say. But I mean, I still have it. I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm probably gonna end up selling it on my Etsy eventually, or have it for a plant swap. But if I'm really being honest, I only got it because it was a trendy plant, and I don't know, maybe it's just because it's winter time and I have all these plants inside the house, and I'm feeling very claustrophobic and cluttered with all these plants inside my bedroom and inside of the house all at the same time, when normally half of them would be outside. So I might feel differently during the growing season and might regret selling off these plants. But I mean, if I feel this way now and realize that I only got them because they were trendy plants, I probably shouldn't have gotten them in the first place. But yeah, so I don't know. What are your thoughts about trending plants? And have you had similar experiences of, getting a trending plant that you only got because they were the cool plant of the moment, but not necessarily because you like it or it's the right plant for you? And what are your thoughts about trending plants getting overpriced, or their supply maybe being artificially manufactured just because of the high demand? So I don't know. I mean, I'm like throwing out conspiracy theories at this point when it comes to trending plant. But like I said, I'm not here to shame anyone who likes trending plants or wants to buy trending plants. But I just like baffled, and it's a mystery to me why certain plants do trend and why we all clamor for it, and why we always not necessarily compete, but to be the first one to get them, and sometimes even willing to pay a high price for them just to get that plant of the moment. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, what you think about trendy plants. And thank you for watching. I see you, I appreciate you, and have a plentiful day. Bye.